What's up, guys? It is John from Side Hustle Experiment. In today's video, we are going to go over whether you should start selling on Amazon or not, whether you know it's for you, and kind of how to get over the hurdle of being scared of losing money or making money or taxes or whatever your excuse is for not starting. This also applies to people who are trying to take the next step. For me, it was stop selling books or incorporate online arbitrage. Wasn't an easy decision. So if you're in the boat or you're doing books and you want to do OA, or you're doing OA and you want to do wholesale, or whatever situation is, you want to do private label, but you're doing wholesale, basically how to think about how to take the next step. Things that have worked for me. This is just based on my personal experience. Don't want to tell you guys what to do. So let's just get into the video. So this was based on a YouTube comment. So I am not trying to call this person out. I am just I'm just going with it, all right? I don't think they're a bad person. I don't think they're lazy. I'm just saying this because a lot of people are in the same boat. So I'm gonna look up because I'm gonna read the comment and then we'll get into it. So it says, hey, how's the business going? I remember we spoke right before you began your journey doing online arbitrage and figured I'd follow up here since I'm not on YouTube much to see how things are going. I was supposed to start when you did, but was scared to pull the trigger. Have the returns been worth your time? Glad to see you're doing well. So I just replied, everything's going great, yada, yada, yada. Then they said, when I need to, just afraid to lose cash. Sorry for the vague question. I meant, has it been fairly lucrative? Is this something you can make 5 to 6 figures a year profit doing? I also saw in another video that you said 500 would be a good place to start. Does that account for tools like Keepa and shipping materials? Or is all the shipping handled by fulfillment centers? Sorry for all the questions, just trying to get a better feel before I finally take the plunge. Thank you for your time, I appreciate it. Now, I hope this person does take the plunge, but I highly doubt they will, just based on the questions they asked. So this is what I will say about it. So for anyone on the fence, number one, I get what I put into it. If I want to make 5 to 6 figures profit a year, that's totally doable. If I just wanted to make an extra $1,000, $2,000, that's fine too. Everyone who starts an Amazon business has had the chance to make as much money as they want or as little money as they want. It's totally into your control. Yes, does capital play a role in this? Of course. But if you stick with it and you're making profit, eventually you'll be able to spend more money and grow the business. It takes time, but you just have to get started. There's no way around it. The opportunity is there and it's for anyone, for the taking. I know people who make millions of dollars doing wholesale, online arbitrage, books, private label, every model. There are people who have figured out how to do $1 million in sales, probably $1 million in profit for some of them who are further along the journey. So the opportunity is out there. It's just you have to just take the plunge. You don't need to do any more research. When I started, I literally watched a Reezy Resales video, went to a thrift store, got a scanner, got software, and scanned the books. Then I came home and I watched a video how to list the books, how to send them to Amazon, how to print labels, how to do shipping. I didn't watch all these videos and be like, oh, like I'm just gonna go to the thrift store and then how am I gonna scale? What are shipping labels? No, I just watch one video at a time, took it one step at a time, and it's fine to watch through. If you use Scout IQ, they have a really helpful course that kind of walks you through every part of the book selling and how to do it. So if you want to sign up for that, there's a link in my bio. But that's what I'm going to say. You get what you put into it. Number two, I've definitely lost money doing this, but I've also made a lot of money doing this. Losing money is just part of the process. This is a business. Businesses lose money, but businesses make money as well. As long as you're making more money than you lose, you should be all right, because you will be learning from the mistakes that you made in the past, hopefully. I did do I did make a really good living last year just selling books. This year, I'm doing online arbitrage. It's a little different. I was doing books, half of it. Now books are pretty much done, and now it's all online arbitrage. I did lose a lot of money up front on online arbitrage because I was learning. And unfortunately, the online arbitrage products could be a little bit more expensive than buying a book for $1 or $2. But in the end, I learned. Like, I'm not making the same mistakes I was when I first started. Do I still lose money on products occasionally? Of course. You can't really control the market sometimes. Sometimes Amazon comes on the listing. Even if you check all the boxes that you have, that state, if I do this, if the 90-day sales are this, if the Keepa looks like this, sometimes life just happens, and even though it looks perfect, the price tanks, Amazon comes on it, you get an IP complaint. You could do your best to avoid this, but sometimes that's just the nature of it. Something happens out of your control, but I do make money on most of the stuff I send in there. Sometimes it's $5 an item, sometimes it's $20, sometimes it's $30, sometimes it's $1 or $2, so I have to liquidate it, or sometimes I lose $1 or $2. You almost have to think of the whole SKU. If I'm selling these iPhones and I made, let's say, I don't know, $100, I sold 9 of them and I made $100, and now it's no longer profitable, I'm probably gonna take a $5 to $10 loss on this because I already made money. So now instead of making 90, maybe I'm making 80. It's just how it works. So you have to look at it overall. Number 3, for me, I'm one of those type of people who just go for it. I was doing books. I was very successful doing books. Had a good business running for the size I was. Had an eBay proportion. Had a lot of monetization for everything. I was pretty much just in the people who were buying duds, paying for the books, and then Amazon and eBay were just money on top of that. So I had a really good system set up, but I didn't want to grow it anymore. It would take what had to happen for the business to continue to grow and scale. It just did no longer met like what I wanted to do. So I pivoted to online arbitrage. I'm very happy I did, but it was really hard to say goodbye to everything I built. Obviously, I built on it for online arbitrage, but for the most part, books to online arbitrage is definitely a steeper learning curve than I thought. It's definitely very different. There's a lot more money at stake, but it's totally worth it. I'm still learning a ton. I'm probably about, what are we in, September? So probably been doing this, really spending like a good bit of time on this for the last 6 months, kind of dabbling before that. But I've really taken it serious the last 3 to 4 months, I would say. Books is now totally done for me. I do have some books in Amazon that have to sell through, and I do have eBay stuff, but everything is now focused on online arbitrage. So that is how I do it. I just, I started buying products for online arbitrage and just started testing the waters. And I'm not saying that maybe you want to spend thousands of dollars doing that, but you're going to have to spend money at some point to see if you know what you're doing or not. And then number 4, I think this is the most important one. When I first started doing this, I wasn't trying to make 5 to 6 figures in profit. All right. Now, is that the goal? Yeah, of course. Like, I do want to make more profit year over year. But when I started, that wasn't the goal. But the goal was to see if does this work? All right. Number 2, do I like doing this? Number 3, can I quit my full-time job to do this? So all those boxes were checked. But if I went in thinking, can I make 5 to 6 figures profit? I probably would have never started one, because that's a huge goal to think about. if I first started and was just like, okay, in month one, I made, I don't know, let's say I did like $2,000 in sales and maybe made like $200 on that or $300, whatever it is. Then in my head, I'd be like, oh, wow, like it would take a long time to get to 5 to 6 figures profit. So you can't really think like that. You just got to keep going and going and going and keep pushing. And then once you prove that it works, then you could start setting goals on that. It doesn't happen overnight. It does take years in order to learn Amazon and then really start to get better at it. Yeah, within the first year, you could do really well, but I'd almost say the first 3 to 6 months of that, you're really going to be learning. First 3 months, you're going to be making mistakes. After that, you're going to get a little better, a little better. By, 6 to 8 month mark, you should be doing pretty good or getting the hang of things. And then from there, you just get progressively better. You find products, you find brands that you could sell consistently, you get replenishables. It all just kind of comes together. But if you're starting this to say, hey, I need to make 5 to 6 figures profit, is that possible? It's possible to make that doing anything, anywhere. Like, it's just, again, point number one, it's what you put into it. So, in effort, I will say this. I do hope this person starts, but I think one of the worst parts about this whole thing is, like he said, he almost started when I started. Now to date, we've done, I think, $189,000 this year in sales just on the online arbitrage account alone. And I think that's what the video kind of was talking about. Like, we just hit a record of something, sales. So I think that person has a little FOMO saying, hey, I wish I started because I could be there too. And they probably could have been. And I think one of the things that you always have to consider is as you go, it just gets harder. So for books, the more I stopped doing online art, like the more I was focusing on books and not doing online arbitrage, the harder it got to do online arbitrage. Because instead of just chipping away at it every day, I would dig myself such a hole because you don't source in a week or so, then it's really hard to hit your monthly spend goal. So you just got to chip away at it every day. And if you're on the fence, just get started. A lot of the time, some people, maybe you'll get started and you say, hey, listen, I don't like this. So now instead of wasting 9 months of the year thinking whether it's a good opportunity or not a good opportunity, you'll figure it out in about 6 to 8 weeks. If you like it, great. If you don't, shut down your account. That's all. It's not a big deal. You'll be in for a couple softwares. They charge monthly. Just stop doing it. It's not a big deal. But I would encourage everyone to start, and whether that is starting online arbitrage, starting eBay, starting Poshmark, or whatever you want to do. I like Amazon. That's what I want to do. But just get started. And if you're doing books and you think you want to do online arbitrage, start doing online arbitrage. Get a free trial of SellerAmp down below, all right? And then see what happens. If you're doing books for, 30 hours a week, just do it for 20 and dedicate 10 to online arbitrage, or just do 2 hours a day. But just realize if you only do an hour or two a day, it's going to take you longer to get than if you were able to put 10 hours a day in, or 10 hours a week. I forgot what I even just said, but just keep that in mind. So if you like this video, please like it. Please subscribe to the channel. And I hope this inspired you to either start or take the journey, whatever you want to do. And I will see you guys in the next video.